Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for attending today's webinar. We're going to talk about the Trimble X7 3D laser scanner, best practice and recommendation for a successful first big project. So today I'm going to be with Yannick Luginboul from Geotopo and myself, I'm Arnaud Lezenec from Trimble. To talk about that, I decided to share an example, a real life example with you and explain what happened in the field and how they got a successful first big project. So Yannick, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Yannick Luginboul. I'm an application engineer at Geotopo Trimble dealers in France.
So just a one-click slide about Geotopo. It's one of our dealers for France. They do like half of France, so you can see offices in Paris and in Lyon. And also, yeah, I can hear from our accent, we're a little bit French, so we try to speak with the best English we can today. So about myself, if I may introduce myself, of course, my name is Arnaud Lezenec. I'm the market manager for 3D scanning at Trimble geospatial sector. I started scanning a few weeks ago. Actually, it was in 1997, so quite a few weeks, by modeling a cave in the south of France. And since then, I've been with Mency, so a company I started with, and then Trimble bought Mency in 2003. So I've been with them since then. So basically, it's my first job. But in my first job, I occupied like several positions in several countries. And just a last little one to show you the evolution of the technology and the evolution of myself. So I think it's more interesting to focus on the technology and where we come from and where we are today. So the Swidic scanner, yes?
Sorry, this is Sophie. We have a few problems with the audio. Some people confirm that we are hearing?
Yes.
Is there any screen shared? And also, apparently screen sharing. Is everybody hearing and seeing everything? Ah, okay. Todd is confirmed, yes. Hearing and visual and audio is all good. Sorry for...
It's all good, okay. No problem, it's a live demo, so it's a live presentation, so...
I'm sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
No, please, no problem at all. So the agenda for today, you can see the introduction, project description, a few slides about the Trimble X7, then the field operations, and then I will do like a live demo of the software, and then we'll present some results and some lessons learned from the people in the field. So introduction. So Geotopo, so Yannick and his team were approached by a client who wanted or needed to scan a full museum, indoor and outdoor. It's located in a valley near a river. So the location of the river is pretty important for the project because of flooding, possible flooding. And actually, it's a bad example or a good example because recently, I think it was yesterday, in the south of France, they got lots of flooding. So you see, and the client, and that's important, and hence the webinar today, the client has never used a 3D scanner before, and they have never used 3D point cloud too. So they are really new to this 3D scanning world. So Yannick and his team did a demo of the Trimble X7 3D laser scanner and the perspective software in the office, and then they process the data inside Trimble Business Center, that's our office software. And they did a good job. Client was convinced, and they placed an order for a system. So all good, and it could have been finished here. But because the client is new to scanning, and Geotopo has a lot of experience in 3D scanning, they decided to help them for the first project and give them some tips, tricks, and recommendations. And I will present you all this afternoon. So project description and goals. As mentioned before, the site is located in a flood zone. So the project needs to be geo-referenced. It's what we call in France CC46. So if you're in the US, like a US state plane, or in different countries, you can use your your local coordinate system. So it was CC46 for that one. Now, the museum is fairly complex. As you know, museums are always like kind of complex. So there are like 3 floors and many rooms filled with different objects. So it's kind of busy. The client is working for the department. So in France, we get like a 95 department and a bit more with a department outside of the continent. So that was one department. And they need to deliver at the end a DWG for topo plans of the outside, building facades, elevation drawings, floor plans drawings to show also the ceiling heights, the slab heights, and some volumes. They have 3 days on site. And again, it is their first project. They have never used a 3D laser scanner before. They have never worked with 3D point cloud before. And so Geotopo decided to spend the first day with them on site to show them, how can you say in English, to show them the ropes of the 3D scanning world. So it was a good move. We will see after if it was a good move or not, but it was a very good move. So a few slides about the Trimble X7 3D laser scanner. So if you never heard about it, just a few slides about it. So first there is a video, and I hope the video will run okay. I'm gonna cross my fingers.
Anur, the audio of the video is not
Sorry,
not
I will okay, I will stop the video. We will send you the link to everyone. Sorry, it's a live demo. Sophie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
So sorry everyone, there was a video, but it's there's some problem with it. So we will send you the link to the video right after. My apologies for this. So just a few slides about the Trimble X7. We call it simple, smart, and professional. So it's gonna deliver some new innovations, also like some breakthrough technologies and features to deliver precise, efficient in-field data collection. So that's very important for new users. And also instrument and data quality you can trust. So I will show you like a few little slides about all this. Again, today the goal is about the project. So, but just wanted to share like a few things about the Trimble X7, like the reliable field workflow, the intuitive, I think that's very important, intuitive perspective software to operate, manage, view, and validate your scan data. And I used to be in sales, and instead of sometimes reading a slide, I always want the people to experience by themselves the technology. And that will make a big difference. So if you never use the Trimble X7 scanner, I encourage you to do so. It's a very lightweight as well. So I used to travel a lot. So I was taking the X7 with me inside the plane. Of course, today we cannot really fly too much, but previously it was a very good way to travel with the X7 in a backpack inside the plane. A very smart scanner. Actually, we get some breakthrough innovations. A new X drive that's going to enable us to do automatic calibration. So for the different angles, horizontal, vertical, side, as well as distance for each scan. So you're confident that your scans are always according to specifications. We also have the Trimble Registration Assist for full, and I think it's very important to mention that, for full automatic registration, refinement, reporting, and export in the field. So basically, you don't need to go back to the office. You can do everything from the tablet in the field. We also have an automatic survey grade level compensation. So really important for people who are not surveyors, because sometimes you don't really know how to level the scanner. So if you're between ±5 degrees, your scanner will be automatically leveled with a 3 arcsecond accuracy. So 3 arcsecond is correspond to 0.3 millimeter at 20 meter, to translate a little bit. And also you can use it like upside down. So we have some people doing like tank, and they scan them from the top. So they have to place the scanner like upside down, basically. And also you can use it with tablet or one button workflow. And the last slide about the Trimble X7 is IP55. Something also very interesting for new users. It comes with a 2-year warranty. It's always nice to have this. You can read the rest. Something important for me, because I spent all my life in the field. I used to work in northern Canada sometimes in the winter, and I used to be based in the Middle East. So the -20 plus 50 is a big bonus now compared to what we had in the past. And just some little specs for you. So of course, at the end, I will show you a link where you can get all the data set, the data sheet, and all those information related to the Trimble X7 if you're interested. So it was just a few slides to break the ice, if I should say. So now let's go back to the project about field operations. So GeoTopo recommended to the client to start the project by the outside. So you can see some little view here. So first what they did, because the project needs to be geo-referenced, they placed some nails. So you can see on the right-hand side of a photo with some nails, with some paint on the ground, and they measure them with a Trimble R12 GNSS receiver and the Trimble X7. So you can see a photo of the Trimble R12 and Trimble X7. The software is on a ruggedized tablet, so they could connect to both systems together. So they could measure point with a GNSS and then scan those points. And in order to scan those, so as I said before, very useful for geo-referencing. It was a flood zone. And also, GeoTopo mentioned, and the client as well, several times that using the Trimble R12 and the Trimble X7 together was a very, very good solution. And I think maybe there was maybe a third very, but Yannick might mention that to us. Excuse me. So for the outside scan, they made sure the X7 could scan the flags of the control points. So what they did in the field, they put some flags, like physical flags, on the nails. It was easier after to recognize those points in the point cloud. And then with a Trimble Perspective software, you have a tool called annotation. And that tool annotation, you can mark also the point in the software. So you can make like a parallel between the physical world and the digital world. So it helps a lot because, as you know, you have people doing the survey in the field, and the people in the office are not always the same. So it's a good way to make sure that, for example, point ST3 is going to be paired with point ST3 back in the office. So very useful, and that was very important for the success of the mission as well. So as an example, again, always insist, it's always good to try to make a parallel between the physical world and the digital world. So physically in the field, they put some paint with number 6, and then they tag the point in the software with the same name. So very good for relation between both worlds. Another example from different station 4. You see also some annotation inside the building. I will explain this in a few seconds. So also to help them to be successful, stations were made into a traverse mode. And roughly every 10 meters, so every 30 feet. And then you can see like some of the stations from station 137 to 138 to 139, 140, like this. And then you can note that some stations have like different numbers, like station 392 and station 393, 390, but they're still linked to station like 138. So why did they do this in the field? So they did that because in fact those stations are starting stations for the inside. So it means that they went from 137 or 141, went inside the building. And then when they went out, so sorry, when they're still inside, they stop with station 391, for example. And in order to link the inside with the outside, they made station 392 that was linked with 391, but then also linked to 138. So your traverse is much tighter like this. So once you do a refinement, you refine the outside and the inside together with multiple links. So it's like a skeleton that's more tight, and then your refinement will be much more accurate. We will speak a bit more about this, about that technique that also was very helpful for the success of the mission. So it's basically what I said between the main traverse outside and some traverse outside for better refinement. So it's one technique. So for the inside scan also, there are several recommendations were made to the customer. So first of all, and I think that's very important for people who start in scanning, don't start by scanning like this and pressing your button and scan, 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 scan. If a project is complex, it's always a good idea to first walk and analyze the site. It doesn't take too much time, but at least, and again, if you're new, it will help you to try to figure out how you're gonna plan your scan sequence. So that was the first advice, and it's a very good advice. Also, they did an intensive use of the labels. So what are labels? In Trimble Perspective software, you can label your scan. So if you scan with first floor, you can say scan 1 to 10 on the first floor, scan 20 to 40 on the second floor, and so on. So you can tag your scan by floor. If it's like connections between floors, like for stairs, for room, if it's a big room, in addition to the floor label, so you can have like a 2 label for one station. I will show you again in a few seconds a live demo. I hope the flow will be good with the internet. Also intensive use of the annotations. So again, to link the physical world with the digital world, you can make some annotation in the software. So for example, for the room name, if the door is closed, if you have like any problems, if something is broken, you can mark it in the field. Because you're in the field, you can see physically. Then in your scan, you can mark the point of interest, like a broken window or broken door, whatever it is. And then the people in the office or even your client will also be able to relate to what you saw in the field. So it's very important to share the information between the field and the office and between the field and the client, basically. It costs nothing. It just takes like a few seconds. So while you make a scan, you can actually make your annotations while you scan. So you can do like do some multitasking. Just gonna get a sip of water, sorry. It's not very warm today, but still. So I will also show you this in a live demo. So labels, as I said, are very important to locate yourself also, to check the registration on your next steps. So just some snapshot here. Very slow today's internet. I can see that the flow is very slow. Maybe many people in my building connected to the internet. So some stations, a bit of a spaghetti workflow here. So another workflow they did. You can see the different levels, like outside on the right inside. So basically, when you click on one of them, it's like a filter. If you just want to filter the station that have a label outside, you click on it, it will only display those stations. So very useful if you have like multiple levels to see where you are, or if you do like several days of scanning, it can be very helpful for you to see what you did, where you are today, and where you want to go. So very useful filters again. And here also you can also filter by clicking on the top here and see all your labels, and then select the one you want to display. Again, I will do a live demo. Hopefully, it's going to be a good one. So also inside, after walking the site, it was also decided to move the scanner along the walls in order to create like a main traverse. So we will see, I think, the next slide like this. So sorry, a main traverse like this. And then when they move inside the scan, they move inside to scan the several rooms. So you will see here, they went from station 27, 28, 29, 30, like inside the room. When they go outside, they go to station 31. So that's the main traverse here. So I will maybe highlight all this. So in red, like the main traverse. And when they go in, it's like a secondary traverse. Like when they stop with station 30, they will go back after to station 31. The 31 will be linked with station 27, not with station 30. So if we remove that big line, you can see it a bit more clearly now. So your sequence of scan is much nicer. You can see all those things here. We try to show you this also in a live demo. So you see it's a bit more clean than if we looked at that one. So I got many slides back. I hope it's gonna refresh nicely in a few seconds. So it's very slow. I shouldn't do all my move like this. So from that spaghetti traverse to a nice one. Wow, it's very slow. My apologies to everyone. Okay, I'm back to where I wanted to stop here. So the main traverse and the secondary traverse. And also when possible, Yannick recommended to the client to open the windows before scanning to also link the inside with the outside. So not only the station, but also the point cloud. So if you look here, it's a one station. So you can see it was station 68. In a few seconds, hopefully it's gonna refresh. Okay, you can see the inside and the outside. So just open the window to link the different stations. If another example like this one. So whenever possible, they also open the windows to always scan the inside and the outside, or the outside with the inside. So more common point between inside and outside. So very useful also for refinement at the end. Oops, animation here. So also it was important for them to try to place a scanner because there is many rooms, many doors. So to link the different rooms with the main traverse, it was decided to place the scanner under the frame of the door as much as possible for the passage to go from to go inside. So the door was open and then closed for the scan inside. So the main traverse is 27 to 31, 39, secondary traverse to 32, and then I'm not saying English, but a third traverse, a multiple third traverse to do like the different rooms inside. And once it's done, go back to 39, and 39 gonna be linked with 31. So very useful also in the field to see where you are and to not be lost. That's very important. It's so easy to scan and scan and scan, and quickly you can get lost or forget what you did and lose your path. So that's the example of the inside. It was a toilet, so maybe not the best example here that I picked. But anyway, they had to scan it, so that's part of the job. And here you can see the result of the point cloud. So with the door that were closed and then open, so to create a passage between the main traverse to the inside. So always like the planning also is very important. If it's like a small project, let's say like a 50, even 100 scan, it's kind of easy. And this project is not a big scan. It's not a big project. Some people do something like 2,000 scans or even more. That one's like 400 scans, 405 scans. But remember, it's the first time these people use the 3D laser scanner. So it's always good to get some good habits when you do all those things. So they also decided to capture images for each scan. So each scan also, that's important. They were registered to another one in the field and on the fly. So every time they make the scans, they make sure the automatic registration worked. And in some cases, because they were new, maybe they moved too far, the angle was not the best. Automatic didn't work at the first time. So they could use what we call the split view, where you can pick 2 points, 2 command scan, and then make the merging in the field. And you can do all this while you scan. So you don't need to wait for the scan to be finished. You can do all this while the scanner is scanning. So you don't waste your time. You don't waste your time, basically. You just make sure that everything is connected correctly in the field on the fly. And that's very important. Because it's so easy to say, we do it later in the office. But once you start to multiply the scans, it's very easy to forget that you didn't do one. And once you're going to be back in the office, you might be in trouble. Maybe not you, but maybe the other people in the office. So try to fix in the field because you can do it and it takes no time to do it. So please do it. It's my recommendation anyway. And also the project was refined in the field and the export also was made in the field. The client just wanted the E57, so they could just do it straight in the field. I will show you the different export we can do also. So project presentation. So I'm gonna try to show it to you live. I hope the connection will be okay. Maybe Sophie, you can help me if it's too slow. Hopefully it will not be too slow. So can you see the software, Sophie?
Yes, we can. I can.
Perfect. So it was the start of the project. So you can see from station 1 to 2 to 3 and 4, and then you can see the traverse going inside. So the main traverse 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and so. And then when they go inside, you see also they could do what we call annotation. So that's some French, sorry, that's the entrance. They could also tag that the first room was entrance. This one is room number 2, for example. Then you go to room number 3. So always important to link the physical world with the digital world. My English is terrible today. My apologies. Then go like this, follow your traverse. And then, for example, here is the tag for South 19, because it's station 19 when 2021, then did the 2 other rooms. But once you're at station 26 and you walk back to the corridor here, do you know from which station you can connect to? So the tag here was to let them know it was a tag on the software, but also if you want, you can place a tag in the field with the same annotation. That once you're done with those rooms, you will need to connect to station 19. So software here at the bottom, you can also by default register to the last station, but also you can pick the station you want to register to. So when they went to that spot, it was station 27, they could say, I want to register to station 19 and start the scan. And after the scan is finished, automatically, station 27 will be connected with station 19 to allow that nice traverse like this. Other tag for the dining rooms. And something I wanted to show you, this one is a kind of complex here, many rooms. But here, when they moved to station 47, a door was locked. So if we go to the station view of station 47, I don't know if you can see in a few seconds. I'm going to wait a little bit for the update. It's extremely slow. I don't know why, but you can see the door was locked. So what they did tag that point with a tag like no key, station 47. So no key for that one, and station 47 means that they will need to connect after to station 47 once they come back in the field. So what they did after, you see they went from station 47, went 48, 49, 50, and so on. So once someone came back with a key, they could open the door and then go back to station 51. Oops, sorry. And go to the inside station 51 and then open the door, and they could make the scan from the inside to the outside to link those stations together automatically afterwards. So it seems to be simple, but it's very powerful actually, because it's so easy to forget that that door was closed and maybe forget to scan all those rooms afterwards. So just little tips, recommendations that you can do with the Trimble Perspective software. And Yannick did that with his clients, sorry. So it was just a little view like this. Of course, with a perspective, you can also see your point cloud in 3D. So here we don't display all the points, it's like a preview, but all the scans are correctly registered together. So the registration is finished at this stage here. You can take all type of measurement if you want to, like areas, if you need to do it in the field. So all type of measurement that are available to you. So like a quick area measurement in the field. Something like this. So if you go to a station view, maybe I will pick station 20 to see what it looks like. Sorry, up. So in that one, if you wanted to know quickly the height from the ceiling, they wanted to know this after in the field. Some quick tools to make some quick measurement in the field on your tablet. Of course, it's in meters here, so sorry, but 2.94 meter could be in feet if you want to change your units. But very simple tool that were used in the field. So if I just go back to the presentation now. So it was a full project here. You can see the outside and the inside, all those scans together here that were all linked together in the field. And then, sorry, before doing this, I'm going too fast sometimes. I just wanted to show you one little thing inside Perspective software. Before you go, you can do your finalize and export project. Just wait for the refresh to operate. Maybe some people watching movies in my building, they take all the internet, sorry. So you can refine your project. You can colorize the point cloud also, make some panorama if you want to, and also export straight from your tablet. So when you export, you have those different export here. So TDX is a Trimble format, also like TCF, also Trimble or E57, PTX, LAS, POD, or recap directly from the tablet. So you don't need a recap license to do that export. You can do it straight away if you want to go to a recap export. So your project has been registered, refined, and you can export straight from the tablet. You don't need to go to an office software. You don't need to, to transfer the data to a laptop. You can do all this from your tablet. And Yannick did all this with a 405 scan on his tablet. So just take a little water, sorry. Okay, sorry for the interruption. If I go back to my project here. So in TBC, so the different steps in TBC, because they wanted to do also like some, as I said, some floor plans, some building elevation drawings. So first thing they did, so TBC, sorry, is Trimble Business Center. It's office software we use in Trimble, also with Trimble RealWorks software. It depends what you want to do afterwards. So they could import the fully registered and refined TDX in the CC46 coordinate system. Then they decided to do the coloring and the panorama creation in the office. That was a choice they made. They made the geo-referencing, and they made some classification. So classification in Trimble Business Center is like automatically it's going to extract for you the walls, the ceiling, the ground inside. If you're outside, it's going to extract for you the floor, the trees, the poles, the signs, the buildings. So instead of doing manual segmentation, and trust me, manual segmentation takes a lot of time. When you can automatically classify your point cloud, it saves sometimes days for a big project. Then they also made some region. So for the different rooms they wanted, or the different facade they wanted to model. They made some sections as well, and some also projection. And once everything was done, they made some export. So it was basically the workflow they used. If you want more information about it, you can contact me or contact Yannick. We'd be more than happy to share all this with you. So some results. So unfortunately, France, we were like contained for 2 months, like many other countries. We've been released, if I may say so, on Monday, so 2 days ago. So the client, they didn't have the time to finish producing the results. So it will come soon. But in the meantime, during the containment, they got a training on a Trimble Business Center by Yannick to show them how to use the data they collected in the field and how to produce like a results at the end, like those auto projection, those cross sections, and all those things. So just a quick snapshot of what they did. So some cross sections of the building, some of the rooms they did, as well as some other sections for the different levels. So all this, again, you can see all those point clouds were connected automatically in the field and refined. I really insist because it's very important when you can do it, and it saves a lot of time after back in the office. So some example that they did, it was another project from Yannick of a building facade and a floor plan. And in Trimble Business Center, you can do your cutting plane, then you can do some drafting. And with the drafting, basically you could produce your building elevation results as well as your floor plans. I hope it's gonna come extremely slow. I'm so sorry. Something I would like to pinpoint is on the floor plans. You see, the rooms are tagged. When you produce a floor plan to your client, you're gonna tag your rooms. And that's similar to what they did in the field with the annotations, but they did the annotations for the different rooms with the proper name. When you have this already in the office on your point cloud, it can also help you to produce your drawings out as well. Sorry, afterwards. So always a relation between the physical, the digital, and even the paper plan. So relations is very important when you share information between different formats. So some lessons learned by them. It's not by me, by them. So the list was the tablet could handle those, that project in the field. They didn't have any issue with it. Importance of planning the scans in advance. You need a logical order, and that's, I think, very important and key to be followed all the time, even if it seems faster in the field to do otherwise. It's so easy. Trust me, I did so many projects in my life to go like this and then go, oh, sorry, you cannot see my hands, but you go one way, then jump another way, and you can easily get lost. So if you have a plan, like the connection I was showing between the different stations, try to follow your plan. It's gonna save a lot of time afterwards. It seems to be faster in the field if you don't do it, but maybe not after. Of course, it depends on the size of your project. If it's like a 10 scans, then you do whatever you want. Also, importance of registering everything in the field, important for a big and complex project. Important also to be trained and to train the client. Even it's very easy to use. The perspective software is very intuitive. You take it, you make your scan, you connect all your scans together, and it's super nice. But never forget the good habits. If you start to do like a bigger project with different floors, the organization is important. And some little tips, tricks like labeling your scans, making some annotations will save you lots of headache, a possible headache afterwards. So if you can do it, just do it. It's free of charge and it saves a lot of time. All right. Also important to recommend also the best computer configuration to the client once back in the office. So it's one thing to collect data, but once you finish with collecting data, refining the data, the project is not over. If you want to produce like a 3D models or go to BIM or do orthophoto, if you start to have like a billions of points, it's always good to recommend the best laptop or computer configuration, because the job doesn't finish at the data collection. It's finished once your client is happy. So also for you to be happy to manage your point cloud, it's always good to know or to get recommendation for the best computer possible for your needs. Also important to recommend the best office software. So in Trimble, we get Trimble Business Center, Trimble RealWorks software as well. So there are two very good softwares for managing point clouds, but some are better if you use like survey data, some are better if you use like 3D modeling. So you can talk to your dealer and they can recommend you the best software to use for your needs. It's also very important. And finally, Yannick mentioned that, excuse me, such project was too complex to not be done with a true in-field registration. So for him and for them, the X7 was the best choice, for the job. It would have been too complicated and too long in the office if they had picked a different solution. Remember, it's important, field and office people are not always the same ones. And also because those people were new into scanning, it was important for them for quality control, quality insurance, that all the scans were registered in the field. Because if they had to go back afterwards to the field, maybe it's not possible, and they would have been maybe lost also. So it was also for them very useful once they leave the job site that the project was correctly registered. And now the only thing they have to in mind is to produce results for their client. So that was also very important for them. And then just one more slide about the Trimble scanning portfolio, if I may, for a few minutes. So the Trimble TX6, the X8, the Trimble X7, and the Trimble SX10, which is a scanning total station. So it can do, it's a 1 second total station that can do extremely good scanning as well. So just some few slides about the differences between them. Of course, if you're interested, you can contact me or contact your dealers, local dealers. They will be more than happy to show them to you, organize a demo or whatever you need. And it's a nice little snapshot I took from several customers now. Maybe in a few seconds you will see it of different ways the X7 was used in the field for different applications. So even on a robot, upside down, to scan some snow resort or all type of different applications like this. And if you want to know more about it, Sophie, who is on the line, did, if I can find it, oh, I think I closed it. Sorry, I will try to open it afterwards. Just give me 1 second. Apollo. I don't know if you can see now the screen in a few seconds. Not that one. There's a website called geospatialx7.trimble.com. I invite you to visit it. It was fantastically made by Sophie. You have like many movies about the Trimble X7, the different benefits, information about the instrument, the data sheet, information about the automatic calibration, the self-leveling, Trimble registration assist, and all the software that can be used about perspective software, more information, comparison if you want between the different hardware we have at Trimble, and all those different things. So yes, I invite you to visit that website, geospatialx7.trimble.com. It's a very nice one. And if I may to finish, to be on time, if there is any questions, you can ask all your questions to Yannick. He's going to be more than happy to answer them. Or you can also ask them to me, of course. You can send me an email and I will answer your question, or I can also forward your question to your local dealers. But that's it for me. I hope it was informative. I'm sorry for the internet. It was very slow, so I couldn't show everything I wanted to show because it was too slow with the internet. I'm very sorry for this. So if you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, you can send me an email if you want to. So there is some question about, did we use some spheres or target? So the answer is no. There was no use of spheres or target in the field. It was a choice from Yannick. Does the computer become too slow for automatic registration? The answer is no. As I said, Yannick did a project with 405 scans. They had no issue. The first, I think when we released, maybe there was a little bit of issue, but everything was solved now. So it's no problem. And Yannick, if you want to say anything, please jump in anytime. A better tablet, be recoiled for perspective. No, David, Trimble T10 is really good for it. Also, yes, if it's your first time to the Trimble T10, we made a PDF to explain the best settings to use on the tablet. So it will enhance your experience in the field. And if you never use a Trimble X7, I really encourage you to contact your local dealer to organize like a demo and experience the Trimble X7 in the field. Sorry, I'm reading the question. Yes, so registration is made by IMU. So there's an IMU built inside the Trimble X7, but we use also the technique with point cloud, so some algorithm coming from our Office software that were implemented inside the Trimble Perspective software. So we use both the IMU and the points to register in the field. And as you said, when to scan, so there is many ways to register scans together, David. So you can do like by picking points or many other examples. Sorry, I need to drink some water. I'm very sorry. It's too early anyway to drink something else than water. But anyway, in this case, we need the common scan surface. So I'm reading a question from Omar. I just wanted to stamp, Papa. The question was made by IMU. But in this case, we need the common scan surface. So yes, IMU we use a lot, Omar, and the point cloud as well. Register in perspective field was in, so register in perspective on the field was at the same time as the capture. The answer is yes. So David, the Trimble X7 is like a multitasking scanner. So if one day you see a demo, if you use it, basically what you can do, you're on your first scan, you launch your scan, nothing you can do is a first scan. Once you move to scan number 2, you can launch the scan number 2. While you launch scan number 2, the software will download the scan from station number 1. So once the downloading is coming, but at the same time you do the scan of station 2. And once your download is finished, the scanner is still scanning. You can make annotations and so on. Then you move to station number 3. So when you station number 3, what's going to happen? You're going to launch scan number 3. The software will download scan number 2. And once scan number 2 is downloaded, it will register automatically scan number 2 with scan number 1 while you do scan number 3. I hope it's clear. It's also multitasking. So basically, you don't have to wait for a scan to be over, for the software to launch the registration between the scans. So if you never saw it, please have a look. It's very impressive and very useful too. So let me read the question. Do you face any issue on auto registration between 2 stations in condition? Let's say station 1 is kind of level, but station 2 is not leveled. No, Ricky is gonna, so you can tilt the scanner up to 45 degrees and still it's gonna level with the previous station. And as I mentioned, if you're plus minus 5 degrees, it's gonna be, your scanner will be automatically leveled with a 3/2 accuracy. And so as I said, you can go up to 45 degrees and even like upside down, plus minus 5 degrees, you're gonna be leveled, and plus minus and upside down, you can go also like 45 degrees away. So give you, your scanner can be fairly well slanted. So how to operate the traverse or just arm is configured in perspective. Do you configure it all in TBC? So basically, David, you do all this like in the field, all your traverse. It's not like a traverse on the sense of a total station where you feel like a backside foresight, but you're gonna link your station backside foresight in a way. So your stations are kind of prisms, if I may say so. It's difficult to explain like this. If I had a scanner, if I was in front of you, will be easier. So maybe we should organize for the next webinar, Sophie, some live demo to show the people how we connect those scans together. So to give you a better image, a view how it's done in the field. But also, if you want to see a live demo, please again, I insist, try to locate your dealer. If you don't know your dealer, you can send me an email and I will put you in touch also with them. Long distance large project X. Yes, so David, the project took how many were in the field working on the scan was the only output for the client to DBG file. So the project took 3 days. Again, it was the first project for those people. So the first day they spent a lot of time to learn the software. They never used it before, to learn the ropes of the project. And I think Yannick could maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 405 scan. So they did it in 3 days. Maybe it could have been done in 2 days. Of course, they had kind of long days. They're very strange French people. They didn't break for lunch. It was very unusual for us, but they had to do that project in 3 days. So they had maybe longer days than usual. And the output of class was, yes, was a DWG file. Do you recommend a geolocation system to combine with the X7 scanners? Francisco, it really depends on the end result. Sometimes there is no need to be georeferenced. Sometimes it needs to be. So really you have to, again, it's very important when you start a project to ask all the questions to your client. What do they need at the end? It can also help you to define the density of your scans. Maybe your scanner can scan a point every 1 millimeter. But if they just want to do like a floor plan, you don't need to scan with a huge density. So always ask the question what the people need at the end to adapt also for your scanning density, number of scan, if you need to be georeferenced or not. So please ask a question. And is the floor plan you show now been generated automatically? I cannot see all the question, but I cannot see all the text here. But the floor plan was not made automatically. The cross section was made automatically, and then we have some CAD tools to link the dots together and to produce a floor plan. So Ricky, if you want more information about this, you can send me an email if you want, and I can pass it over to Yannick, and we'll be more than happy to answer your question. So yeah, it's useful to use the location system. Yes, Francisco, will be very useful for sure. Okay, David, I know you now, I think. What is the minimum overlap percentage for both stations to do registration? I cannot see all the text. So the overlap percentage?
Anu?
Yes.
Anu, there is a window. So the question is, what is the minimum overlap percentage for both stations to do registration?
Okay, it doesn't need to be it depends on the environment. So if you like inside, if all the ceiling and the walls, a small overlap is enough. If you're outside, you might need a bigger overlap. So it's very difficult to give you a straight answer because it really depends on the site. But you don't need too much overlap because the IMU will also help you for the orientation of your scan. Your scanner will be level too. And just in case you went too far away from station 21 to station 22, you went too far away and you didn't register in the field. Sometimes it's faster because one scan takes a bit more than 1 minute to make another station in between and then link those scans together. I found it was sometimes faster to do this than trying to do it manually in the field. So, or if you don't want to do an additional station, you can basically pick 2 points in common between 2 stations. So we don't need too much overlap for this. Of course, your 2 points mustn't be on the same plane or very close to each other with different angles. And then it will register for you afterwards. So yes, Ahmed, the question is in French. I will answer in English, sorry. So yes, it was not using a total station, just with a scanner to give you a straight answer. That was what was decided for the project. Of course, if some people want to use some targets and total station in the field, they can. But in that case, there was no need. There was no need because remember what I showed you when they did the scan, they opened the window to link the inside with the outside. Also, they tried to link the inside station with the outside station. So a physical, not physical link, but a digital link. So when they launched a refinement, all this was connected together. And Yannick, if I'm correct, you can stop, correct me if I'm wrong. The full refinement at the end was 3.5 millimeter. Is it correct, Yannick?
Is it correct? Yeah.
Okay. So the full refinement provided a 3.5 millimeter result at the end with no target. So the scan level, they did the 1 minute 30-second scan time per run. Because again, it was inside, it was a short distance, and the goal was to make floor plan. It was not to detect cracks or stuff like that. So if the goal was to scan like small pipes, maybe they would have to scan with more density. But in that case, there was no need to do this. I think I answered all the questions. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email. I will answer them. Or if I don't answer them, someone else will do. But we will get back to you. It's a promise that we do. Hope you enjoyed. Visit the website. Contact your dealers for demos. If you have more questions, please contact me or Yannick. Thank you very much for your time. You have a great evening or morning or afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Sophie, for your help. And thank you, Yannick.
Thank you, Arno.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.